and you were asked to identify what is the sine, cosine, and tangent of angle A if you're given these legs of 1 and 7. Okay, so first of all, which of those trig ratios can you identify based solely on the information that's provided? With respect to A, I have an opposite side and an adjacent side. So opposite and adjacent is which? Tangent. So it's a TOA, right? The tangent ratio. So I know my tangent ratio is 1 over 7. I can identify that one right away. Now, in order to find my remaining trig ratios, what you have to do is use what we know about right triangles and find the missing dimension. In this case, the missing length is the hypotenuse. So what can we use to find the hypotenuse? It's a right triangle, so we can say 1 squared plus 7 squared is equal to c squared. 1 plus 49 equals c squared. So if 50 is equal to c squared when I extract the square root, this does have a perfect square factor. This is 25 times 2. The square root of 25 comes out as a 5. The 2 stays as it is. And so I get my answer of 5 root 2. Okay, so the first step when you're identifying these trig ratios is write the ratio that you know, given the information. Calculate the missing side length using Pythagorean theorem or any other method that you have. Okay, and then you can now identify the remaining ones. So the sine is so. So the sine is opposite, which is 1, over hypotenuse, which is 5 root 2. Now, you can't enter your answer in this form because it's not simplified. You need to make sure you get rid of any radicals from the denominator of your fraction. Okay? And so doing this, if you recall back from when we looked at the patterns for 45, 45, 90, and 30, 60, 90, dividing by root 2 is equivalent to dividing by 2 and multiplying by root 2. So we could have said that this is 1 over 5 divide by 2, multiply by root 2. So dividing by root 2 is the same thing as multiplying by the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, and so what you could do here is you would get your answer of root 2 over 10. So this would be your sine ratio. Okay, if you are going to use your calculators for this, which is fine, okay, I want to make sure that you're aware of the common mistake that's made on your calculations. And that is if I wanted to take 1 divided by 5 root 2. Okay? If I hit enter right now, it's going to give me the wrong answer. What was my mistake?
The parentheses have to be around the 5.
Right. So here, this is, remember, order of operations. There's no priority between dividing and multiplying in order of operations. So this is taking 1 divided by 5 first, and then it's multiplying by root 2. But we wanted to make sure that that root 2 is part of the denominator. So you do need to have, it's a separate set of parentheses that put that whole value 5 root 2 in the denominator. And now it will simplify it for you and give you your reduced form or your rationalized form. Okay? So cosine would be adjacent. The cosine is ka, again, so katoa. So it's 7 over the hypotenuse, which is 5 root 2. Once again, you can either rationalize it by hand, or you can use your calculator and take 7 divided by the whole quantity, 5 root 2, close off my radical, then close off my denominator, and that simplifies what I have to 7 root 2 over 10. And so those would be my trig ratios based on the given information.